Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would bring you along as I decorate our home for Easter. I'm really excited to get all of the Easter decor out, to add some touches of green around our home as we are finally starting to see a little bit of green outside. I don't know about you, but I could use some more sunshine and green grass. I am excited for that day. But in the meantime, we are going to decorate our home for Easter. I hope you enjoy this video and are inspired to decorate your home for Easter as well. Alright, it is time to start getting out all of the pieces for Easter, including a few little things that I tend to throw in with our decor, things we get in Easter baskets that are maybe just seasonal, but it occupies the kids every year. They get really excited to get out the toys. I gathered a bunch of baskets and a bunch of greenery and florals from our storage space, and although it feels like I kind of made a mess, it is nice to see all of the green coming out. I'm so excited to put away the cozy things and start bringing out some more crisp items and all of that green. So as you can see, Reese is going to be my big helper today as we go. This little DIY bunny I'm still working on, and I will be sharing that in the next video. I have a few DIY projects for the holiday that I would love to show you guys. I've just been having such a fun time crafting. I haven't really made time to craft in a while, so I'm excited to show you guys that. So if you're new to my channel, be sure to subscribe because I have more Easter goodies coming your way. For the first centerpiece, I'm just going to work on something for our dining room table. I wanted to keep it pretty simple. Last year, I'll link to the video from last year, I did a really big antique toolbox full of greenery and eggs, and I just wanted something a little bit more simple this year and not so cumbersome when you're sitting at the table, because we do use our dining room table every week, multiple times a week. We'll eat dinner there, and so I need something that's easy to move out of the way. So I was just playing around with the basket here and some little eggs that I found, these little crates and little pastel eggs, I think either at Walmart or Dollar General last year, and I cut them in half and used them in my toolbox. So I'm just kind of repurposing some things there and playing around with the centerpiece. So I decided to go ahead and add some more florals, and one thing you could do is just continue to layer florals into a basket like this until you have a complete arrangement, and you wouldn't even have to bother with the eggs or anything else in it if you have enough florals to fill it. I decided to go ahead and just put our traditional Easter eggs in there and then leave that in the center of the table because my almost 3-year-old will love to play with that all the time, but she can't really mess it up. She can just have a good time with it around the table, and she's not going to hurt anything, and it'll be part of the memories around decorating our home for Easter. And that is really what it's all about. So I thought it was a nice little way to add a spring touch to our table without being too much for the season. And as you can see, this is what our real life dining room table will look like most of the time, covered in toys and crumbs. Now let's move into the kitchen, where I have neglected my shelves all winter long. Ever since Christmas, I mean, they looked great for Christmas, and then they just kind of became like the hot chocolate station, and then we ran out of things and I just left empty jars up there. I mean, it has just been a cluster, and I guess I wasn't motivated to decorate for Valentine's this year, so it just kind of remained red and white. So in a way, I guess it was a little bit Valentine's, but anyway, needless to say, I really needed to just start fresh and wipe down things. That is one thing about open shelving. I get asked a lot about cleaning. I just don't. You probably should clean your open shelving more often, but I just don't. There are certain things I have to clean before I use, like platters and whatnot, but for the most part, I just dust them seasonally probably. If I'm going to be completely honest. All right, so decorating my open shelves, you guys know if you've been to my channel before, I love to do this. It's just one of the first places you see when you enter the back door of our home, which is where we come in most of the time. Here on a little farm, we use our mudroom back door most often. So this is the first thing you see when you enter the kitchen, and I always want it to feel really welcoming and be ready for whatever season that we may be in. So I wanted to keep it a little bit more simple this year and try to just streamline what's on there, keep the pieces I like, and then just add little elements of Easter. So I like it's amazing how just a few little Easter eggs or a little bit of greenery can go a long way in creating a nice little fresh open space for the spring season. I don't know about you, but decorating for spring and Easter feels like such a time of renewal, like such a, I don't know, a breath of fresh air. I just feel so much better having my shelves cleaned and they're colorful and pretty. I'm probably the only one that cares in my home. I don't think my husband even noticed that it was different, but we notice, and I think that's why we choose to do these things in our homes. It does make a difference, and it creates a different energy in our home, and I think that that is something that is so exciting about decorating for spring, is that it's just this breath of fresh air and a hope for new growth in this new season. I think that period between January and March can feel so long and drab and dull, but when you can kind of usher in the Easter season, it feels like hope and joy is right around the corner. And speaking of hope and joy, in our home, Easter means so much more than just a rabbit and some Easter bunnies and eggs and all the things. So I thought for our mantle, I would break out my wooden cross again. And for this Lenten season, I thought it seemed perfect to put a little bit of the purple lavender up there. And I'm gonna layer it up with some candles and things. I need a better backdrop. I really wanted to have like a really pretty mirror on this mantle. It would create a nice backdrop for the cross, but I have not sourced one yet that I'm in love with. So I broke out my trusty chalkboard and wrote a message that I feel like just really attached to right now, that there will be joy. It's just a reminder of what Easter is to bring. So I wanted to layer it up as a good reminder during this Easter season. Hey, thanks for hanging out and decorating with me today. I hope you'll subscribe to my channel so that we can hang out again soon and talk about these DIY projects for Easter. And now to the second part of the video, I'm just gonna share a little bit of behind the scenes so that we can get to know each other better. We live on a small farm here in Missouri, and we've got a few projects going on right now for spring and summer, so I hope to share more with you as the months go by. Right now we are just moving some bushes. We have these really big rows of Sheridan bushes. You can kind of see one to the right here along the fence, and it just kind of blocked the view of the entire garden, or I couldn't see the kids from the window playing, and so we just wanted to transplant those, so we moved them to the other side of the garden. And as you can see, my husband's just finishing up the groundwork here to try to get that ready to plant some new grass. So we are never short on projects around our farm. We actually have recently expanded our farm, so we have so much work cut out for ourselves this summer. The boys have been busy playing and fishing, going on long walks, and I've been busy baking chocolate chip cookies to keep them all fed on the days that they're home and on the weekends. As you can see, this one's been wading in the pond while he was fishing. You always got to try to get wet when it's 70 degrees and you think it's summertime. You might as well get a little bit wet, right? One of the things I set out to do at the beginning of this year was to get better at my bread making skills. Of course, I could make a loaf of bread, but I never felt like it turned out all that great. I just really want to improve my skills when it comes to bread baking. So I've been trying a lot of different things. I'm really getting so much better at sourdough. But there were some dark days in January when I threw, a few hockey pucks out into the garden in frustration, trying to get my sourdough to work. If you've ever done sourdough, you've probably been through the same process, but I told myself this year I wasn't going to give up, kind of like I'm not going to give up trying to get rid of those stinking ladybugs. Did you see that in that video? If you have any tips, leave them in the comments below. But needless to say, whatever your goal was that you started with in January, stick with it or start over. You got a whole lot of year left, and I'll tell you what, my bread's getting a heck of a lot better. It's pretty darn tasty. So it's encouraging to stick with something and give it the consistency that it needs, whatever your goal may be. Enjoy that this is a season to start fresh. All right, guys, I'm gonna sign off today. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I can't wait to chat with you again soon. Leave me a comment below so we can chat.